It felt like 1 on 11. Caleb Williams against the Houston Texans, incredibly ferocious and hard-hitting defense. So Keenan Allen out, probably second-best receiver. Roma Dunze's got a bad knee. The Bears' offensive line was pitiful, and Caleb Williams was either getting sacked or about to get sacked and escaped. I mean, a lot of welcome to the NFL moments. Now, all three rookie quarterbacks are bailing water. None of them look good. They're all struggling. The rookie quarterbacks, all of them combined, the ones playing, no touchdown passes through 2 weeks. Combined. But Caleb is taking the worst beating. And he's finding out why Chicago struggles developing quarterbacks. I mean, I saw this yesterday. So Malik Willis, who was unplayable in Tennessee as a quarterback, goes to Green Bay, and they know how to do quarterbacks right. And Malik Willis, I'm like, that dude can play. Jordan Love, keep getting healed. We'll play Malik Willis. And that's the youngest roster in the league. Green Bay knows what they're doing with quarterbacks. LaFleur, no crazy owner, no impulsive general manager. Like, Green Bay just does quarterbacks well. And this was always my concern with Chicago. Caleb Williams is a great talent. Chicago doesn't know what they're doing with quarterbacks. They have no semblance of a run game. I thought the offensive line at the end of last year looked pretty good. Brutal. Caleb Williams was pressured, listen to this, on 36 of 48 dropbacks. He doesn't need a Superman cape. He needs a bullfighter's cape. He's going to get gored out here. He's just trying to survive. It's brutal. And I could hammer Caleb. I could hammer Bo Nix. I could hammer Jaden Daniels. It's a hard league. And they're all just, grabbing life preservers, trying to survive here. But, I mean, he's their leading rusher yesterday. But this is what I worried about. Defensive coach, defensive culture. I mean, you cross your fingers that Shane Waldron knows what he's doing, but the offensive line has regressed badly. And here's the other thing. What is their offense? In 4 opportunities, 2 starts of the game, and 2 starts in the second half. Those are your big drives, right? Your opening drive of the game, opening drive adjustment, second half. 4 drives, 3 of them a punt. I mean, what are they offensively? And again, it's a rookie quarterback. You're not going to use as much motion. It's going to be a bit more remedial. I totally get that. I mean, you're just trying to figure things out, but the O-line's worse than last year. The run game, non-existent. So what are they offensively? What is their philosophy offensively? What are they trying to do offensively? Malik Willis was bad last year in Tennessee. Unplayable. I watched him. And by the way, Malik Willis is didn't he get put on the Packers around like the 53-man roster time? He got put in late. He was inserted late to Green Bay. That looks good to me. That's just what Green Bay does with quarterbacks. But the only NFL team averaging under 3 yards per play is the Chicago Bears. 30th in motion, remedial, rookie quarterback. Now, does Caleb absolutely need to get better? Yes, he will. I don't worry about him. It'd be nice if Roma Dunze didn't have a banged-up knee. It would be better if Keenan Allen was playing. I think that one matters a lot. But once again, this was my concern. Caleb's going to be fine. Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, I think Penix is going to be great. J.J. McCarthy, cross your fingers on healing. But, I mean, right now, they are worse offensively, is Chicago, than Carolina. And we know Caleb's better than Bryce Young. Here's Caleb after.
Okay. Well, here, we'll listen to what Caleb says.
And execute the way we needed to. And, we're going to keep getting better. Everything's about the responses. It's week 2. It's what the guys are. Obviously, I'm, a young guy. But I understand it's a long season. I'm understanding that it's week 2, understanding that we're going to respond. And, just get better every day.
48 dropbacks, 36 pressures. Like, all you have to do is watch a Sam Darnold in Minnesota with Kevin O'Connell. Some people get offense. Some franchises don't.
Okay, so let's talk about this. And first off, all those pressures, that is on Shane Waldron. That is on Shane to set Caleb up, right? It was the same thing that happened to Jalen Hurts with all his pressures and how he had nowhere to go. And again, if you listen to anyone smart, they would say that it happened to him rather than Jalen Hurts doing it, right? His failures. And that's kind of what's happening with Caleb Williams. There's nowhere for him to go. There's no Shane's not setting him up for success. And I actually still even have this written down, and I want to break down this game as well. But I just think Mark Sanchez broke it down beautifully before, right? Where when you're having all this pressure, he needs to have 3 options, and easy, uncomfortable looks to just get the ball out. That alone, he does not have. And this is when I was watching this game, I'm thinking to myself, Caleb has no security blanket, right? All these players have their security blanket, all these great quarterbacks. Whether it's Patrick Mahomes, whether it was Tom Brady, whether it was, I'm not going to just use great quarterbacks, but like Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, like they all have their go-to guy, their get-out-of-jail-free card guy who they can kind of consistently rely on. Whether it's a pass catcher, whether it's a run game, it's just something that they can do. But the problem is Caleb gets sacked, has this crazy play, has to throw the ball down the field, doesn't go. Then after that, you're just like, all right, Caleb, best of luck back out there. There's no one to be like, all right, you know what? We're just going to get an easy pass, 5-yard pass, tight end, boom. He's going to kind of stretch it to now 8 yards. Great. Okay, good. Whew. Okay, we're 3rd and 1. We got this. We can now just pound the ball up the middle. Boom. There was none of that, right? There was no security blanket for Caleb. And I was going to go through like what else to do against pressure, but we don't have to go through that. Because that alone to me just stood out that there was just nowhere for him to go with the ball. But I want to talk about the positives as well, right? I mean, Caleb did look truly comfortable until the end of the game when things kind of started to get a little bit uncomfortable, but he looked truly comfortable. He was in control and confident. He really did. And you could even hear Collinsworth say that. He said he's doing in week 2 what I thought was going to take him, half a season to do. That you should really take solace in that if you're a Chicago Bears fan, because I really do agree. He looked so much more comfortable week 2 versus week 1. Again, things started to kind of get out of control and he made some very bad passes, was kind of playing like he was still in college, but it was also like, what else you want him to do in that situation? He was running for his life. And again, I do blame Shane for that. I just do. There was nowhere for him to go, nothing for him to do. He did miss some receivers, and even Chris Collinsworth pointed that out where, I forget which receiver it was at the time, but he was just like, I'm open. I gave you the space. I gave you, the position to be able to throw me a good ball. I worked the defense. You got to hit me. But he is a rookie. He is a rookie quarterback. And when you're running for your life, snap after snap after snap, it's hard to get settled, especially as a rookie quarterback. And to me, it was the inability to run that stopped, that really stopped this offense. It was just like, he ran the offense great, especially on that opening drive. And then he would hand the ball off and nothing would happen. They would go nowhere. That is a drive stopper. It is an absolute drive stopper. They could have scored and got a touchdown on that opening drive. They could have. But the run was just nowhere. And that really, really hurts you, especially in any game. Do you not know how much of a luxury it is? And now Pacheco's down. But even someone like Pacheco, not this over-the-top, world-famous running back that everyone says is amazing, Patrick Mahomes can still hand the ball off, and Pacheco can still run like he's on fire and still get 5, 6, 7, 8 yards and occasionally rip off for an even longer run. You need that. I mean, think about someone like the Chiefs, what they can do. Pacheco gets the ball and he can rip through for a tough 6, 7, 8 yards, right? And then Patrick Mahomes can do a nice little dump off pass, an 8-yard pass to Travis Kelce, right? I mean, you could see how the offense can kind of come together in that light. But when you when you don't have any type of run game, when you get no production of that, you're just now putting it back on Caleb to drop back on Caleb, back on Caleb, back on Caleb. It's just too much. It just is. And then I want to kind of go back to coaching. What was that? Both of the challenges. You're taking timeouts away in a close game with your rookie quarterback. Your rookie quarterback needs those timeouts. Your offense needs those timeouts. You might need those timeouts against a high-powered offense like CJ Stroud and the Texans. I mean, I'm sitting here on TV. I actually watched the game right here on my computer on YouTube TV. And I can see right away, no, don't, both those calls, don't challenge. Don't do it. It was on the Diggs catch and, I forget what the other one was. The maybe interception, I think is what it was. And it was just so obvious. I saw it right away. So those were 2 wasted timeouts. You need those timeouts for your rookie quarterback. Empower your quarterback to use a timeout himself. That's what we see that's what we see a lot of these younger quarterbacks or these frazzled quarterbacks. They don't call timeouts. They start clapping real fast. They get flustered. They go like this, right? Like, and then the offensive line moves and it just gets all out of control. What do we see Patrick Mahomes do? What do we see Matthew Stafford do? What do we see the truly competent quarterbacks of the NFL do? They call a timeout. They're comfortable. They know, okay, no. Gotta call a timeout. This is a big play. This is an important part of the game. They call a timeout. Empower Caleb to call the timeout or call the timeout for him. Don't burn timeouts on wasted challenges. It's a desperate move. It's a desperate move, and I really, it seems small, but I took issue with that. It's those little things. When the score is 19-13, it's the little things that matter. It adds up. Because the fact that the score was 19-13 really bodes well for the Bears. It does. I mean, I think the Texans are a top team in the NFL. I really do. I mean, especially, I don't think the Chiefs are looking so great right now. And now Pacheco going down. I mean, the Texans are a legit... CJ Stroud, I mean, if you're a Bears fan, you watch this game, CJ Stroud's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. And the score was only 19-13. One, that shows you how good your defense is, which bodes well now because I said it was against the Titans. What are we taking away from that? It's Will Levis, right? But now this is the Texans, and that defense held their own and didn't really get much out of the offense. So if you can clean these things up, establish a run game, make things a little bit easier for Caleb, you can win some games. You can be competitive. But this is where it gets tough because you have to ask yourself, like, what are the expectations for this season? How fast can we expect Caleb to progress? Is Shane Waldron good enough to get this offense going in a positive light? I mean, you're asking your rookie quarterback to drop back 37 times and more times than that because those were just 37 pass attempts. I'm pretty sure, he dropped back probably in the 40s. I mean, that's kind of crazy. That is crazy. I remember Coach Mangini talked about this when in the Ravens game because it was like in the 40s or even 50s, I think like 51, 52 times for Lamar Jackson, and they were like, what are we doing here? It's just too high. You got to get a run game going. And if you want to blame the O-line, I get it, but then you got to be a little bit more adaptable though, because you're just not. This is not the way how you're going to win. You're just not. Caleb needs to develop. You need to make things easier for Caleb. And this idea that there should be less motion for a rookie quarterback, again, I disagree with that because one of the things that a rookie quarterback is learning to do is he's learning to read the defenses of the NFL. And when you have some motion, it really helps clarify what the defense is doing. At the very minimum, it just really helps are they in zone or man? Just those little things really help. They just do. There's a lot going on. You could tell at times Caleb was overwhelmed. You could tell when Caleb would get hit or when he would get sacked or make a bad throw or whatever it was and he's on the ground. You could tell he's just like, I just need a second. Oh, man, this is rough. You could tell. You could see it as clear as day on TV. He's just like, oh God, this is not going well. This is not going well. So motion doesn't always mean that it's complicating the offense. Sometimes it's simplifying it. Sometimes it's clarifying it. Sometimes it's significantly helping your quarterback. They gotta help their quarterback. He is doing things to hurt himself. Make no mistake about it. But he's a rookie. That's supposed to be allowed. You're allowed to hurt yourself as a rookie quarterback. It's less defensible when your team is hurting your rookie quarterback. That's less defensible. that is a harder pill to swallow for me. And I think that's what Colin is pretty much trying to highlight. I don't blame the Bears to have this like inherent issue of quarterback play, because like I don't care what they did in the 80s, the 90s, the early zeros. You know, it just doesn't matter to me. It just doesn't. I'm focused on today. What's going on today, right? And it's just it's gonna be interesting to see what's their game plan. This was always a harder opening schedule to me. People kept trying to act like this schedule is so easy. Facing the Texans week 2 is not easy. It's just not. Okay, that is a tough team with a great defensive head coach who also knows how to eat up young quarterbacks, with a great offense, with a great young quarterback in CJ Stroud, with a million weapons, and an elite offensive coordinator in Bobby Slowick. An elite offensive coordinator. I think he might be the best coordinator. I think he might have surpassed Ben Johnson in my book. He's going to be getting a head coaching job. And if you don't know who he is, you will soon enough. And the Bears did a great job against them. That is a massive silver lining. Make things easier for Caleb. Have this defense continue to roll. And there you go. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Are there any positive takeaways from this game for Caleb Williams? Do you blame the Bears for the lack of progress, or the lack of success, I should say, that Caleb Williams is having? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much.